Hey guys, this is John here in Los Angeles with the Alpha Channel update for Sunday, August 25th, 2024. Today we are doing the Punisher number 3. And while I have some Skull t-shirts, I do not have any authorized Punisher t-shirts to get into the spirit of things. There wasn't Mike Zeck doing the covers on the last few. I did look up the guy's name and then forgot it. So these are free and you get what you pay for. That's no excuse, really. Although I have been distracted the last couple days. I had a lot of writing to do and I've had some other stuff. Man, it's demanding my attention. But I believe everything is ready to go. For tomorrow is the big day. Tomorrow at 11 a.m. 10:59 as a matter of fact. 10:59, everything starts. So we'll see what happens. This is Mike Zeck, and the Punisher has stolen a mob boss's car. So these guys are leaving a meeting, and they come under fire from someone who is not the Punisher. But the Punisher has stolen this mob boss's car, and now the mob boss is in the car and frustrated and gets into a fight with the Punisher. Meanwhile, they are still taking fire. So, never a dull moment, right? If the camera's, I was showing the wrong page. That will not do. That will not do. You can't be showing the wrong page to the audience. Never a dull moment. I just watched Ronin by John Frankenheimer, and David Mamet worked on the script, which really makes sense, knowing the other things I've seen from him since then, like Spartan and Thief, I think was the name of the one with Gene Hackman. So here the Punisher jumps into a manhole as a car is rushing toward him, but he's not done. He hangs on the, oh, you see it, it's actually showed right here. He hangs on the ladder and fires up into the top of the passing car as it drives overhead, blowing it up. If that's not straight out of the Dolph Lundgren movie, you know? I mean, really. He even kind of looks like Dolph Lundgren, doesn't he? So this is a mob boss that he lets go. Frank Castle lets live. And this episode is a bunch of Frank Castle doing showdowns with mediocre bad guys. Here he is at Angela's apartment. They are a thing now, you might say. I like that Angela just kind of goes around in a silk robe all the time. That's how girls should dress. This panel down here is just, look at how well her legs are drawn, how simple. Her waist is really tiny. It's provocative without being profane. That's good art. That's good art. This guy does not know dead space with Mike Zeck. Look at these compositions here for this meeting between the bad guys. Alaric is the one main bad guy's name, the V-neck. And the other dude is some cowboy from the old cowboy shows who can't get work in those anymore. Sort of like when DeForest Kelley became Bones instead of an extra on cowboy TV shows. I mentioned before that there was this thing that happened right around this time called the Rural Purge of cowboy themed TV shows. These guys would have been drawing a lot of Western sword and sorcery sort of comic books. So they were probably very familiar with Conan and, you know, cowboy themed stuff. Here is the Punisher going after this one mob boss who's threatened to kill him. And the mob boss explains that he actually hates these guys. And here the Punisher sneaks in behind the dude, right? This is like a little scene. Right? Remember how I was saying every scene is a short story? This page is a perfect short story. And it's the whole story is this one page where the Punisher sneaks in behind a guy who's on the phone having an important mafioso phone call, and the Punisher tells him what to answer, and then threatens him and tells him to do what he promised to do and leaves, and this guy never sees him. So that is, there's some sort of TV or like only in a movie sort of tropes here where he happens to catch him at this one phone call. But, it could be dumber. It could always be dumber. Sorry, I'm covering up this guy's head with my finger. There are some great characters in here. I love the way Mike Zeck draws people. Every single one of his people looks unique. And what's going on is some bad guys are dressing up like the Punisher and executing their enemies and making it look like the Punisher did it. This happens. This is the Spider-Man, the 3 Spider-Mans pointing at each other meme. That's what this issue is. So that's always fantastic. Like, how do you go wrong with that? So here we have a bunch of Punishers, literally a room full of Punishers, all working for this one guy who the Punisher threatens, and he confesses the Kingpin put him up to it. Because remember in the first one, the second one actually, after the Punisher gets out of prison, he sets off the booby trap in the Kingpin's office, and everyone thinks the Kingpin is dead. The Punisher is trying to stop the mob war that he started, and a lot of innocents are getting killed, which is sort of the moral dilemma that the Punisher has to live with, is that, oh, here's where the Kingpin tells him, right? Like, I got a little bit ahead of myself, I think. But here's where he threatens him, and then the Punisher walks out into the room full of Punishers, which is just awesome. Just awesome. Be like Captain America fighting a room full of Captain Americas, or like when Batman fights all those guys in hockey pads at the beginning of the second movie. This is a trope. This is a trope because every single, I guess, in this is a superhero comic. Punisher number 3 is a superhero comic. The Punisher is invulnerable to glass and high falls, so gravity doesn't hurt him, bullets don't hurt him. This is, I take it back, everything I said, and this isn't even, this is Mike Zeck and Stephen Grant. Here the Punisher, a little girl gets shot right down here in the bottom panel. I'm going to hold that up close for you guys. This bad guy shoots a little girl, and then he has an emotional breakdown about having done it, but he did it, right? And you could not get this on TV back when I was a kid. You did not even get this in movies when I was a kid. This is R-rated fare. I was just talking on Shelby Robertson's stream about how he knows Newt. He went to school with the girl who played Newt in Aliens, the sequel. And she's in his chats a lot, along with like Jim Lee and all the other big stars, because Shelby inked for all of those guys. But so I was saying that, when you get a little kid in an R-rated movie, that really ups the stakes. That really, it's guaranteed emotional involvement on the part of the audience. So here we have Punisher catches this guy. Basically, this guy surrenders because he's ashamed of what he did, what he was involved in. And then the Punisher is confronted by his girlfriend, who demands that he choose to join the trust, which he already joined, I guess, but I don't know, they want more of a commitment, and so she shoots him. It always sucks when your girlfriend shoots you. And if that's not a comic book trope, I don't know what is. So that's it for episode number 3 of The Punisher. And today's Yggdrasil card is, I looked at this before, I don't remember it already. Oh yeah, I remember it. This is good. Ymir. Creativity, artistic, struggle, and something else. Creativity, novelty, and artistic struggle. So Ymir, the winter. The winter is what spurred culture in northern societies. It's why we have awesome culture and other societies don't. Because they had summer all the time and they were out skateboarding all the time. And we had to go in for the winter, and so we learned how to draw and play music. And this is Ymir, the frost giant. So you pay duty to the winter by getting, boning up on your music skills or your artistic skills. Speaking of which, today's episode is brought to you by Legacy of a Mad Scientist, story in which 11-year-old Ashley goes on the run with her 9-year-old brother Jeffrey from corrupt government agents in the future city of Angel City, where they have anti-gravity vehicles and whatnot. And then later on, in issue number 2, The Legend of Ashley Fox, she is now an orphan at the Angel City Orphanage and Juvenile Detention Facility District 13, where she has to unite the gangs against a group of serial killers running the orphanage. And we even have a comic book out here in black and white when Ashley is a bit older, and she becomes a Valkyrie, Ashley Fox, Last Valkyrie. Check it out in the description. And the audiobooks for the other stuff is right here on this channel. So just click around, you'll find it. In terms of what else is going on, I've had a busy couple days. But like I said, everything is ready. I've been verified, I think, by everyone necessary at this point. And I should be able to do what I need to do. We'll find out tomorrow. Tomorrow's just the first step. So, then it's a week of waiting. There's some other pump and dump groups that I've gotten into that are posting 500% returns, which is 5 times, it's not exactly 20, but it's still a lot, and that's in a matter of hours instead of a week. So those are interesting. We'll have to pay attention to those too, and I will keep you guys all updated and see how far we get with this, with God's Angel City Alpha Channel animation studio. So, all right, talk to you guys tomorrow. Bye.